Hello everybody and welcome to Pravus Gaming and another Hearts of Iron 4 modded series. Today we are trying out Old World Blues, which if you can't tell right away, this is a Fallout-based mod. Very well received, very highly rated and recommended. My understanding is it does a fantastic job of translating the Fallout universe into a grand strategy game, and I am very excited to try it out today. I had been considering doing a Millennium Dawn playthrough instead, but my understanding after talking to some people in Discord is it's a lot slower, which makes sense. It's not like in 2000 the whole world was quick to jump into a world war, so something like Old World Blues promises to be a lot more action-heavy, which I do like. There is one major caveat to this series, and I'm just going to go ahead and lay that out front. I have very limited understanding and knowledge of the Fallout universe. I have never finished a Fallout game. In fact, I have barely ever played one. The most I have played of Fallout is I think I played for about 2 or 3 hours of Fallout 3 at a friend's house years ago. I remember very, very little. Okay? So I do not know a whole lot about the Fallout universe. I even watched a crash course video before starting this so I wouldn't be a total ignoramus. So if I miss a lot of references, you guys are going to have to be able to deal with that. If you can't handle it, please don't watch this because I don't want to see all the people ragging on me in the comment section. I know I don't know a lot about the subject matter, but maybe this series will actually encourage me to finally start picking up the games and playing them. Lord knows, I have plenty of people suggesting I play Fallout New Vegas and such on my channel, so I don't know. Maybe this will inspire me. We will find out. Again, though, I do know a tiny bit about the game. I certainly know a little bit about the lore that leads up to the Fallout universe, and the nuclear holocaust and the Fallout shelters, Project Safe House, and so on. I know a little bit. I just don't know about the individual game subject matter. So, if we want to go ahead and start off with a new country in the Old World Blues mod pack, we have a few different options. There is New Californian Republic, which has the little double-headed bear, which is awesome. They started off as, what was it, Shady Sands or something, and then become basically the last hope for democracy in the post-apocalyptic world. Except they do become increasingly more imperialistic, having to absorb some of the local tribes and smaller governments. There's a lot of different national focuses that are dedicated to this particular faction. It's very well fleshed out. At least that's my understanding. So, this could certainly be a very good candidate. Alternatively, we have Caesar's Legion, which is the autocratic enslaving faction, diametrically opposed to the New Californian Republic. They will be at each other's throats for the entire game. These two are basically the world's superpowers. These guys start off in more like Arizona area, and it will not take too long for them to get into a fight with the New Californian Republic at some point. They are led by Caesar. I can't remember his name. I don't know if he even shows it here somewhere. Doesn't seem to. Well, anyway, Caesar here. He's got the cult of Mars working for him. A lot of people practically worship the guy. His ideology is focused on elites government, rule of the few, as opposed to the rule of the many, democratic form of the New Californian Republic. Further to the west, along the coast of California, we have the Brotherhood of Steel, in this case, the Western Brotherhood, very technologically focused, very small, and zealously protecting their technology, but very powerful. Could actually be a pretty fun playthrough in the future, depending on how this mod pack turns out. We have Mr. House from New Vegas, which I don't know a whole lot about, but a lot of people like this one, so that's a thing. New Canaan, the Desert Rangers, New Reno, which I do believe could technically become the Enclave if you do follow the correct national focus path. So that could also be pretty fun. We also have Heaven's Gate, Mojave Chapter, Washington Brotherhood, the Broken Coast, which is new in a latest version to the mod pack, Troll Warrens, Vault City, and so on. Lots of people to play. I think I'm going to play as Caesar's Legion this time around, and this one might seem like the boring choice, but my understanding after reading a little bit about this mod pack is this is currently the best fleshed out national focus tree for all of the nations. It has a lot of really good customized events. Just so everyone seems to say that this has the best feel in the game, which makes it seem, to me at least, like a good introduction into this mod pack. It also should play a little bit like Germany, so maybe it's a little on the easier side, but I'm okay with that because this mod pack does overhaul a lot of mechanics in the game. So something that kind of gives me a large, powerful nation to work with and experiment a little bit with the new factory and research mechanics will be very welcome to me. So we're going to play as Caesar's Legion, which means we start off with a few different modifiers. Cruel Tyrant, less effects of partisans, foreign subversive efficiency, and also some non-core manpower. And manpower is extremely precious in this game because guess what? Most people died in the nuclear holocaust. So that makes sense. We're also a warmonger, which is not relevant to us because if they were an AI, they would focus on offense a lot. We're going to be taking them over as a player, so that's not really relevant. Conqueror of Tribes. Division organization goes up, war support goes up, stability goes up. I like that a lot. Oh, Edward Sallow. That's his name, or Sallow. Once a follower of the Apocalypse named Edward Sallow, Sallow was captured by a primitive tribe on an expedition. For his release, he taught them the doctrine of total war and led them to utterly destroy their enemies. They crowned him Caesar, and he began his lifelong conquest as the unchallenged ruler of the Legion. Sounds pretty fun. Cult of Mars gives us extra division attack, more non-core manpower, which is really strong, division speed and attrition, and infantry soft attack. Pretty good. We do, however, reject all automation, so we're not really going to have a lot of robotics, which I think is a pretty huge damper on our economy. We're ultimately not going to have very good civilian and military factory production. Maybe that's something we can change in the national focuses. I'm not too sure. The War for the Hoover Dam is going to be a major aspect of playing as Caesar's Legion. The new thesis, no idea what that's going to be yet. And the White Legs Petition, again, no idea what any of that is going to be. All right, let's go ahead and play as Caesar's Legion. You can see that we are indeed one of the major superpowers. There's New California Republic, our dire enemies. In the Old World's Blues mod, you only can play in North America, places that have already been covered in the Fallout games. And the map is absolutely not finished. There's not the Eastern Brotherhood and the Enclave up in this direction and so on. That stuff is all presumably going to be added someday, but for now they've been gradually working on this approximate area. So we have to play in North America. This is going to be Caesar's Legion. You can kind of get a sense of how many territories they are, though. Like, this doesn't look like it's very big. But it is. There's so many different provinces you have to control in this map. So they've completely overhauled the map here, which is fantastic. I'm really looking forward to trying this out. All right, let's go ahead and play on regular difficulty. We're not going to do Iron Man. I'm sure I'm going to make mistakes. The elites, interestingly enough, only have 25% of political power. The ruler has most, but we are controlled by the elites. That might change pretty soon. We're going to find out. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the Fallout mod that I know nothing about. Hooray! And right off the bat, we start off with some text. As a player, the OWB Legion campaign in the early game may seem overly easy for many of the conquests and trials the Legion faces in the early game before facing the NCR. This is due to timing and sequencing with the AI, who even struggle with some of the base conquests at times. Enhancing these nations, which will be on the warpath, may in fact provide a much more enjoyable campaign of Caesar's Legion without providing nerfs on the Legion's own power. So we can, apparently, buff up all the little guys to make more of a challenge in the early game. I'm not sure if you want that yet. Maybe. Therefore, I strongly recommend you enable the following option if you have any substantial HoI4 experience whatsoever. Enhance the bear and tribes. Only enhance the tribes. I'm a wimp. No thanks. I'm not going to enhance the bear because I don't want to get completely destroyed if I make huge mistakes. Like, there will be mistakes in how I play this series because I'm still learning as I go. But I will enhance the tribes, give them a little bit of an extra buff just to provide some extra challenge so I don't steamroll the game. There we go. Sounds good to me. All right. Right off the bat, you can see we only have 18,000 manpower because manpower is extremely precious. We do have some factories. Arms factories and civilian workshops are things. Everything else looks more or less similar. Terrible war support and stability to start. Wow. Okay. Well, let's go to Caesar's Legion here. So there's our national spirits. Everything else here looks more or less the same. Let's go to the national focus tree, and we're going to see that there are a lot of options here. Lots and lots of trees to follow, different branches. I have no idea which are going to be best. I guess we'll kind of play that one by ear. But to start off, we have to do the Expedition to Blackfoot. It only takes 7 days. So we'll get the event, Expedition to Blackfoot. No other options. Let's get started with the story. For technology, interesting things here. You can see that technology is actually completely split up by tribal, civilized, advanced, and then a few unique technologies that we probably will not have access to unless we were playing as the Brotherhood or the Enclave, which obviously we are not. And depending on what civilization you play as, you may be stuck at certain technology levels. I suspect that we might be able to get up to civilized. I don't know for sure yet. I suspect we will not be able to do advanced. Maybe we can. Maybe this is something you get as time goes on. I'm not too sure how this works, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are certain factions that are stuck at tribal level of technology for the entire game. Possibly. Again, a lot of this is stuff I'm kind of figuring out as we go. So we do have our infantry. We have our support companies over here. You can see, by the way, some nice background art across the board, which is really cool. Vehicles. We have scrap motorcycles, eventually better motorcycles, and gun trucks and tanks and so on. I mean, everything's been completely overhauled for this mod. So far, this appears to be the most significant overhaul of the game that I have ever seen for Hearts of Iron 4. There's a whole robotics tree right here, So we can have Protectron Mark 1s. I believe New Vegas has some specialized robotics, if we had played as them. Mr. Gutsy, Mr. Handy, that's all kind of fun. Robobrain. Securitrons, yeah, I think that might be... Well, it's required for advanced. I suspect this is a thing that New Vegas has access to right off the bat. Land Doctrines. So, back when I was looking at some reviews for this, it didn't have completely unique doctrines. Now it apparently does. So we have Automated Warfare. It was man that failed the old world, not its creations. Robots fight better, faster, and for longer. That's kind of cool. Refined Warfare. Didn't end because of inferior tactics. It bathed in nuclear fire because it could not apply these tactics effectively. This might be something that we like as Caesar's Legion. Conventional Warfare. We don't need mechanized armor, super weapons, or machines. Men with guns in their hands and discipline will bring us victory. Probably good if you have a good amount of manpower. No idea what's better yet. We start off with Asymmetric Warfare. We can't hope to match our enemies' industrial might or their understanding of technology, but we need neither. Terror tactics, guerrilla warfare, and mass assaults will win the day. Maybe we'll end up sticking with this and go for ancient tactics since it does sort of fit with the Legion. You can see right down here. We start off with Asymmetric Warfare, which gives us mass charge, some reinforce rate, and training level. We could go to Foraging, Supply Grace for 48 hours and out of supply. Probably pretty good in a wasteland. Just guessing. There are naval techs available in the game, and it appears to be like those big steamboats, mostly. Canoes and so on. I don't know how much we're really going to use naval tech, but it is a thing. Naval doctrines appear to be exactly the same as before. There are some salvaged planes as well, including Zeppelins, which I think would just be a really fun. Gunships for the Enclave, I think. That's kind of cool. Air Doctrine is the same as before. Engineering, Tribal Tech. So we don't have access to secret language yet. We could do combat language, which give us reinforce rate, so it's radio technology. Decryption and encryption tech. Electronics, research time, I guess we're going to have to start with that. Ohm's Law. So rediscover some basic electronics. Resistors, vacuum tubes, and so on. Eventually we might be able to get to proper radios. Smoke signals? Yeah, alright. Radio, long-range radio, digital data links for advanced. Ooh, kind of cool. Circuitry, more research time, upgrades, and so on. And then what about industry? Agriculture, manufacturing, organization, extraction, construction, habitation, water, and electricity. And metal. All of these are going to be incredibly important, and I believe the economy is completely changed in this game, and that's something I'm going to have to figure out. So agriculture allows us to have more factory output, more factories in a state, more production. Okay, all that seems good. Also recruitable population factor. So this could be nice. Basic forges, again, more output, more factories, more efficiency. Okay. Organization, efficiency cap and growth. All right. Construction speed, probably important for us. Water, purification stations. Electricity, power station, metal foundry. I don't know what these all mean yet. This is going to be fun, though. Let's go for some construction, because I imagine that'll be important. And do I want to go for something like agriculture or manufacturing? I'll hold off for now, because I might need something else. Let's instead go for, let's see, decisions. We have a few things here. Propaganda, war measures, political actions. Scavenging for equipment. Begin a scavenging program. We would need some pipe guns to make that work. Oh, good lord. Audio holotapes, Fallout 1, 2 intro, New Vegas intro, disable backstory decisions. What the heck is all this? Pause music before playing. Huh. I don't know if I want to do that right now. I'll come back to that in a minute. Diplomacy, nothing new there. Trade. Okay, so we have water, electricity, metal, fuel, electronics, and advanced technology. Those are our resources that we will have to manage. Good to know. Production, we are currently making basic melee weapons, and that is it. We do have access to pipe guns, scrap motorcycles, dynamite, and some support equipment. Not sure what my regiments will need yet. We'll come back to that. Here's the recruitment right here. So legionaries are our basics. We do have our infantry. And medical chem companies, which are field hospitals, I would guess. Explosive support. Ooh, that sounds pretty nice. What else we got? Infantry battalion, spec ops, and militia. Huh. Okay, I'm trying to figure a lot of this stuff out. These guys appear to be paratrooper Praetorian Guards. So these are our spec ops guys. Interesting. Only combat width of 8 at the moment. Tribal militia. Soft attack of 20 compared to these guys with a soft attack of 20.5. Organization's 52. 40. So as you would expect, it looks like the infantry are just straight up better. We do start off with recon companies for these guys. Okay. All right. I'm sort of figuring this stuff out. Trying to, anyway. Convoy equipment apparently is very important. I think you have to transfer resources around by land in this game. I think. All right, so for construction, what do we want to start with? Outposts. Inflict an attack penalty of minus 15% for each fort level on the attacker in combat. Oh my god! That seems amazing. Let's start with some civilian workshops. Not a lot of infrastructure to be had pretty much anywhere. Also, really not a lot of factory space. I think we will want to build a couple down here. I do think that civilian factories are going to be very important for us. I'm not sure how much, really, of an industry the Caesar's Legion is going to be able to build up. But I would have to think that getting some of these extra civilian factories kind of early on will make a big difference so we can build a lot more. So that's what I'm going to go for to start. Maybe it's bad strategy. I don't know yet. We'll find out. I feel like things like water and stuff might be important, but maybe we do want to start off with basic resources. We want to start with reinforcement. We want to start with something else entirely. Hang on. Robotics. We could start building robotics. That could be good. Max speed for motorcycles. Support companies. We started off with support equipment and dynamite. There are so many. Healing powder from the medical chem companies. Trained mongrels. PMGs, anti-tank, heavy laser muskets. Fire geckos. And then maintenance, logistics, and signal companies. I've spent this entire video just exploring so far. Defense and breakthrough could all be pretty good. Basic firearms, yes. Leather armor for defense. Scavenged PAs 4 years ahead of time. What's this? Spec Ops? Marsh training, hills training, plains training. Well, that might be important eventually. I think we do want to focus on industry. And I think I'm going to focus on, let's say, just getting some water going. I have no idea how important that's going to end up being, but I feel like we should. Basic melee weapons we will build. We'll also build some pipe guns. So let's go ahead and do some of that. If I wanted to train up some more, let's say, legionaries, what do I need? So far, machetes and support equipment, and that's it. So right now, our infantry are entirely melee-based. What about tribal militia? That just requires manpower and infantry equipment. That's interesting. Any infantry equipment at all? Maybe. So maybe we do want to focus mostly on machetes, but I do want to build out some guns. Support equipment is probably going to be important. Let's go ahead and do this to start. Maybe a few motorcycles, just kind of get that a-rolling. Plus a bit of dynamite for some support companies. Yeah, I like that idea. A little bit of extra support equipment, a little bit of extra machetes, and we'll try building out some legions that way. Anything we care about with our ships? Sailing ships, barges, convoys. I'm going to guess that convoys are most important, so let's go ahead and start building those. How are we looking on trade now? I guess we'll give the game a chance to reprocess and see how that goes. So I guess we can go for an intro and kind of see what happens. Let's see. Things have changed. Toggle music. Pause music. Fallout 1 intro.
War.
Whoa.
War never changes. The Romans waged war to gather slaves and wealth. Spain built an empire from its lust for gold and territory. Hitler shaped a battered Germany into an economic superpower.
I'm a little bit worried about copyright. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Yeah, maybe that's completely fine. I don't know. I just don't want to take the risk of getting copyright, you know, copy striked. That'd be pretty bad. What do we have down here? Apparently we are already at war with the Twisted Hairs, so we'll want to fight them. Okay. They have some unique voice acting here.
True to Kaiser.
True to Kaiser. Not Caesar? Kaiser? All right. Apparently that's what we're supposed to be. Let's go ahead and create a few basic divisions. We are going to want to defend our borders. I probably should use these guys to attack these tribes over this way. Can we get a general? What the crud? It's a giant fox person. Field Marshal Vulpes Inculta. Attack, defense, planning speed, planning supply consumption. Seems pretty good. Field Marshal Lucius. We have 2 field marshals and no generals. Is that what I'm hearing? Better attack value. You seem just pretty darn good. I'm going to take you. I'm going to create a front line here and an offensive line over here. Head toward New Vegas and the Hoover Dam. That's probably what we're supposed to do, right? Now, here's one really huge change in this mod pack that is worth knowing. The mod terrain, sorry, not the mod, the Earth terrain is completely redone. It's not a giant map like you would have had in the base game where you can just ford a river at any point, right? Major rivers have specific crossing points, and if you don't control them, you can't really go anywhere. Unless they've changed that recently. I don't know exactly how to tell where they are. Is this one? No. You can see that naval bases in the rivers are incredibly important, though. Yeah, here we go. Crossing points and stuff like this become very, very crucial. So we are going to want to control them, otherwise they become bottlenecks. And, you know, even if we have 5 times numbers, if we can't cross here, then we're going to get completely demolished. You can also see kind of big straits through mountain ranges and wastelands here. So even more bottlenecks to control, which means flanking becomes increasingly important. Movement and mobility and logistics, very different in this particular mod pack, which I'm, again, very excited about. We are at war, yes, new divisions and basic training. We probably should just go ahead and train up at least a couple of these legionaries. Don't know if we'll have the equipment for them or the manpower for them, but we will try. In the meantime, let's get our people together. Seems as of right now, we're not looking really solid in our ability to attack. At least the general doesn't think so, but that's fine. Let's see. So I need to protect against the Navajo Nation, Twin, Tucson, all these people down here, probably. Let's go ahead and create a couple of front lines just to defend down over here. We'll assign all of you here. Maybe 3 of you go down here or something. We got a wide front to protect, is what it would appear. Navajo. We'll protect over... Yeah, see, the front lines are all a little screwy. It's going to be a little bit awkward, I think. Maybe I'm not worried as much about, like, the hand dogs and stuff. Let's get a little bit of protection down over there. And a little bit of protection against the twin mothers, maybe. So we'll have all of you start a sign against the Navajo. Couple against here, and then 1, 2, 3 against here. I don't know. Not sure what the best strategy is yet, but we'll find out. Okay. Okay, I'm excited. I'm excited. This is going to be really fun, I think. We shouldn't take very long to finish our expedition to Blackfoot, so let's see what actually happens here. The expedition to the Blackfoot tribe was the defining event of Legion history. The tribe is the foundation of Caesar's Great Legion, and it was through the flames of this primitive tribe's wars that the yeah, the text isn't exactly perfect here, that the iron will of Caesar, or Kaiser, I guess, was forged. His lessons to them were weapon maintenance, which gives us a national spirit for infantry equipment reliability, could be nice, division organization, which I'm a big fan of, explosives creation. I really like organization. I find that to be very, very powerful. Reliability might be good since we are struggling with production in the early game, but I'm going to go for unit tactics, and here's hoping that that actually is good. Death in the Canyons, another 7 days. I guess this kind of gives us a bit of backstory to start. And it's interesting because what we're doing, really, is determining our backstory before we're allowed to decide what our future is going to be, which I kind of think is interesting. That's a cool idea. All right. So troops are still on their way. I'm going to wait until we actually have all of our reinforcements in position. Hello, we have a navy. Do we have an admiral? No. So what can you do? I guess patrol... Wait, how does that work? What am I patrolling exactly? Wow, you actually can click on the rivers and patrol them. Oh, this is so interesting. Look how much work was put into this. It's so cool. All right, do we want to make a run for New Vegas early? That might be a good idea. It also might be a terrible idea. I don't know. Mr. House is not going to like me. I know that much, but I don't think he's going to ally with the NCR. But he might try to create his own faction at some point. I don't know. Let's go ahead and start pushing. Wherever our guy feels relatively confident. We do have some really good Praetorian Guards, apparently, veterans of the war. I think we should be able to beat these guys pretty handily, right? If we can just break through a couple of lines, I think we'll end up being fine. He's now pushing against me in a counterattack, which makes sense. I have no idea how much warfare changes when manpower is this precious. It's going to be interesting. Death in the Canyons is done. The earliest years of the Legion were also some of the most brutal. In his conquest of the Canyons, Caesar brutally slaughtered 3 of the local tribes, each act just as cruel, but one act gained particular infamy in the wastes. The Ridgers, stability and war support, division recovery against the Kababs, whatever, and the Fredonians, division training time. I like stability and war support that are permanent, so we're going to do that. So we'll see how well that works. All right. Let's see. Need a new national focus. The Malpace Legate, or however you say that. I don't freaking know. Right now we have volunteer only, export focus, and civilian economy. Political advisors, the Arizona Ranger and stuff. Oh my gosh, this looks so cool. So some advisors we could do, theorists, industrial. So all this stuff appears to be pretty standard. There's not a whole lot of options. And I have no idea if it's even possible to change your political affiliation in this game. But obviously we want to get through these national focuses as quick as we can because they are giving me some pretty nice bonuses. Maybe we should have done that before we started fighting. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and do stop the attack just to kind of conserve some of my equipment and stuff until we get our full bonuses, and then we'll attack. Joshua Graham, the Malpace Legate, oh, I don't know, Legate? How do you pronounce things in Roman? Latin. Was the co-founder of the Legion and Kaiser's greatest servant. A shrewd, cunning general, this early act cemented his legend across the Legion and formed the basis of his military prowess. He burnt Phoenix to the ground. No, I like Phoenix! Siege divisions could be nice, though. What is that? He hunted his enemies to the last, Frumentarii divisions, and Legion motor chariots. What on earth do these do? I grew up in Phoenix. Let's burn it to the ground. We now have Phoenix siege divisions, siege troops. What do these do? Template. Dynamite and machetes. Okay, so they're just dynamite throwers. Got it. Okay, bit of extra soft attack and stuff. I mean, hey, sure, that could be kind of nice. New national focus. Kaiser, son of Mars. I'm going to say Caesar a lot. I know it. But apparently it's supposed to be Kaiser. Oh, well, I apologize about that. Non-aggression pact from the Great Khans. How do I know where you are? Where are you? I feel like they're supposed to be up here, but I don't remember. Great Khans, non-aggression pact. I don't mind the idea of some non-aggression pacts, but maybe I'm just limiting myself uselessly if that's the case. Oh, wait, is that? No, Grand Tribes. I'm just freaking blind. I can't tell. Great Khans, Great Khans. Where are you? Wait, is there a button? Great Khans. Aha! I am blind. It's right here, Bitter Springs. No. I might decide I want to conquer you. You know what? Let's have non-aggression pacts when I actually need them. Until then, let's not even worry about it, man. Not even worry about it. So we are training up a few new troops. Flagstaff? Oh, Flagstaff, Arizona. I know where that is. I grew up right outside of it. Hang on. Where else we got here? Northern Phoenix, Southern Phoenix. Wait, Flagstaff's not this high up. Where the heck is Phoenix supposed to be? This doesn't feel right. Hang on. That actually might be the spot of Phoenix, but I feel like Flagstaff is supposed to be like... No, I'm sorry, that is right. Yeah. What am I talking about? I was thinking of Flagstaff in terms of Scottsdale. No, that's not Scottsdale. This is Flagstaff. This is right. I grew up right in here, basically. I don't remember the Aguafria River being this big, but I grew up like right over here. Anyway. Caesar, son of Mars. His will is law. He is a god amongst men. The son of the god of war, Mars. All in his legion live to serve him as a blade serves his master. He is the teacher and master of the tribes under him, and in his conquest taught them many lessons, chief among which was to destroy the profligates, partisans, divide et impera, organization lost when moving, or decimatio. Recruitable population goes down, military leader cost. I think we want to go for organization lost, or maybe we want to go for partisans. Actually, this may make it easier to sustain stuff. This is good for fighting and moving if I'm going for lightning warfare. This is good to sustain large conquests. I'm debating whether it's worth it, though, because if we can conquer a bunch of small tribes, maybe we're not worried about partisans. But against someone like the NCR, I'm going to go for partisans. Maybe the wrong choice, but we'll find out. Okay, we now have finally unlocked some proper trees. But we were going to come back to that in the next video. I know I spent most of the time just looking at some changes here in this mod pack, but guys, this is going to be fun. I really think this could very well end up being one of the best mod packs for the game. Just from what I'm hearing and from what I'm seeing from the beginning, this will be awesome. I do hope you guys are looking forward to this series. Be sure to hit that like button if you are. Leave a comment with your suggestions. Subscribe and hit that notify bell if you haven't already. And I will see you guys next time.